Hey, I wanted to take some time today and talk about mindset, health, our attitudes towards our body, our attitudes towards getting better. And there's a really good quote that comes to mind, and it's, everything you're thinking, your body is listening. And there is a lot of truth to this. When we're dealing with pain patients, for example, one of the prerequisites of an ideal patient or someone that's going to get better faster is positive mental outlook and a solid attitude about their case, condition, diagnosis. That's where labels and diagnosis can get us into trouble, because people then start identifying with it, and if the mindset and attitude about that condition, challenge, or problem is not right, then it's actually much harder to treat someone. If someone's in a good mental state, they understand it's a sort of a blip in the radar and a speed bump in their life, and they're eventually going to get through it, and then those people tend to respond much faster and get better quicker. Whereas if someone has a negative outlook on it, or is viewing their body in a negative way, and they can sometimes be their own worst enemy. And it's not just conscious thoughts day to day, but it's also unconscious thoughts. And how we develop these unconscious thoughts and negative framings of our bodies or challenges or health problems is largely due to things that we filter into our minds throughout the day. So this can be the people you hang out with, like who are those 5 people you spend the most time with? There's the old saying, you are the average of the 5 people you spend the most time with. Or another good one is, show me your friends and I'll show you your future, because those 5 people have such a huge impact on how you see the world, how you respond to the world, and how you deal with these challenges that are constantly coming at you. And with our health, it doesn't matter how young or how old we are, there's going to be challenges along the way. And then your framing, your outlook, your attitude, and your whole mindset towards it and around it really can make or break it in a lot of cases. So how do we shift this mindset? It's not just as easy as think happy, positive thoughts all day, but look at the things that are getting filtered in. So audit your circle. Who are those 5 people? Are they helping you become more mentally resilient, have a more positive attitude, enjoy your life, or are they taking you the other direction? That's something to really consider. Look at those 5 people you spend a lot of time with. And then, of course, what else are we filtering into our minds? There's obviously a lot of television, movies, TV shows, but one of the worst ones that we don't realize in our society is the news. And I've been to several medical conferences, and there was one that mentioned a really memorable quote, and it said, Fox 5 News is not compatible with optimal health. And it makes a lot of sense, because when you look at a lot of standard news outlets, it's reporting a lot of bad stuff, right? Whether it's, war around the world, civil unrest, bombings, murders, all kinds of stuff that drums up drama, that drums up ratings. But we filter that in our minds, and we think it doesn't impact us, but on a subconscious level, it does. And years and years and years and decades of that can really change and sort of jade how we see things. And even though we think we have control over our thoughts, that process starts to get hijacked. So really consider how much news you're consuming and if that's helping you move the needle in life or not. This was a concept that was proposed to me back in 2011, and it's one I've really taken a look at ever since then, where I'm not actively seeking that kind of information out, because all those headlines I just described, they don't really help you have a healthy body and a healthy mind. They just don't. It's really hard to make an argument how getting that kind of information into your brain is going to help you help others, be of service to people, and think about your body in a positive way. Those just drum up things of, fear, anger, resentment, and all those thoughts can then get filtered into your body. And a lot of physical pain patients, one of the underlying emotions that gets stuck in the tissue ends up being anger or resentment or bitterness. And so issues that are not resolved at that mental level eventually manifest at the physical level. And that's why anytime you're dealing with chronic health problems, pain patients, you have to look at that mental emotional, but you have to draw it back to how did that pattern of thinking get dialed in. So that's why you really got to look at who you're hanging out with, what sort of stuff are you feeding your mind. Talk radio can also be a similar form of that, where we slowly but surely get our subconscious hijacked a little bit, and then that just alters how we see the world, how we think about things, and just our general outlook day to day. So that's kind of what I wanted to leave you with today. I know that's a bit of a rant and maybe a topic you have heard before, maybe you haven't. When it was proposed to me, it was very contrarian, very against the grain, because I grew up in a household where, guess what, you read the newspaper every day, and then you turn the news on at dinner time, and you never really look too closely at who you're associating with. You sort of just associated with whoever was around at the time, whoever it was convenient to hang out with. But if you really start looking at who you're spending most of your time with, you have full control of who that is. And those should be all uplifting people. Those should be people supportive of your goals. Those should be people that are wanting to help you, and vice versa. And that should have no drama, no stress. So really look at these concepts, and you'll see some areas you can make a lot of improvements on. And if you have any questions on this, shoot me a message at any time, because this is work I'm continually doing. I'm by no means perfect with it. I don't have a happy, cheery, positive outlook on everything 100% of the time, but always moving closer and closer to that every single day we can be a little bit better. Have an awesome weekend.